The Punch newspaper, This Day newspaper, Daily Trust, and Nigerian Tribune. To kickstart the program this morning, I'm starting with the Punch newspaper with a bold headline: Countdown to 2027. Tinubu to pick new INEC chair this week. With the rider that says Yakubu steps aside, President consults Council of State. Selection process under spotlight. That story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Above the nameplate, displaced Borno residents recount Boko Haram invasion. That's on page 2. World Bank dismisses Nigeria's single-digit inflation target. That's on page 29. How Habas intervention stalled minority leaders' impeachment. That story is on page 28 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Quality skill 4 in Lagos, Ogun communities. That story is on pages 4 and 5 of Punch this morning. Tinubu axes 2 National Assembly bills over policy clash. That story is on page 22. To get more details on all of the stories, pick a copy of the Punch newspaper this morning. And away from the Punch newspaper, I have This Day newspaper with a bold headline: All eyes on Tinubu as INEC chair Yakubu bows out. Agbamuche Umbo now acting. That story is on page 10 of This Day newspaper this morning. Uche Naji, Tinubu's minister, accused of certificate forgery, quits. That story is on front page of This Day newspaper this morning. Dangote versus Pengasan, Sanusi, Kuka, Ote, Peterside. Others weighed in, say unionism not licensed to cripple economy. That story is on front page of This Day, and the story continues on page 10 of This Day newspaper this morning. 31st Nigerian Economic Summit, beer sector backs man, urges federal government to resign tax stamps rollout. That story is on page 32 of This Day newspaper. To get more details on all of this headline, pick a copy of This Day newspaper this morning. Away from This Day, have the Daily Trust newspaper with a bold headline: Amupitan may emerge INEC chair. That story is on pages 2 and 3 and 4 of Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Tinubu seeks fresh $2.3 billion loan. That story is on page 1. 2027, ADC sets criteria for candidates. That's on page 11. Senate proposes 10-year passport ban on Nigerians convicted abroad. That story is on page 12 of Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Minister resigns over alleged certificate forgery. That story is on page 6 of Daily Trust newspaper this morning. 2,000 Nigerian refugees to return from Niger, federal government. That story is on page 36. Woman set husband ablaze. That story is on page 16 of Daily Trust newspaper this morning. And away from Daily Trust, I move straight into the Nigerian Tribune newspaper with the headline: Certificate scandal. Uche Naji resigns as minister. Certificate scandal. Uche Naji resigns as minister. That story is on page 3 of Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. Osun local government funds. Supreme Court reserves judgment in state suit against AGF. That's on page 4. Tinubu writes Senate withholds assent to 2 bills. Says federal government must prevent abuse of funds. That's the reason page 10. ACF wants federal government to protect Dangote refinery in nation's interest. That's the reason page 27. INEC, Yakubu proceeds on terminal leave with a rider that says hands over to Agbamuchimbo. Tinubu honors him with national award. That's the reason page 26. New tax regime, federal government targets relief for 98% of workers. That story is on page 6 of Nigerian Tribune. To get more details on all of those stories, pick a copy of Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. And with that, we've come to the end of Chidex newspaper update. We looked at This Day newspaper, The Punch, Daily Trust, and Nigerian Tribune. My name is Damilola Adekunle. Do want to have a wonderful day. Thank you.